Well, hey guys, I'm heading out again this afternoon to go and look for a few spots to set some more traps. The dogs have been in full swing with howling and in the middle of mating season at the moment, so they're sort of getting most territorial and active around about now. It's usually, or in this area, it's usually around sort of April, May that they sort of get most active. So I've got Tish on the back. I'm going to find me a few spots and yeah, put some traps on, and got a few new screw-in pegs I'm going to try as well. In some places where the ground's hard and not many places or drags to find around, so I'll show you some of the gear when I get out there and find some spots. 3, 2, go. Well, Tish has gone over there. He's found where I got that dingo the other night. That's where I shot him. It doesn't take him long to find stuff like that, so it's a beauty of having a dog with you when you're trapping, because they know their nose works far better than ours does. And you can find the spots for me, can't you, Tish? Now these are some of the new pegs I'm trying. The landscaping peg I got from Bunnings. The Bremic, what size are they? These are 300mm screws. The cheapest way to buy them is buy them by the box. These are it's about $100 for a box of 25. So I bought a box. I'm going to try them, see how they go. They got a T40 what do you call it, a head in the hand there for screwing them in. She has an impact driver and there's a thread on the end. They actually screw in the ground quite well, so we'll give them a go and see how they work. So I've got the traps. These are the Western Trapping Supplies number 3 traps. They're my favourite traps to use so far. And a box of goodies, assortment of pea, and here Mick is your tuna oil. I might try a bit more of that. Might even get myself a cat or another fox or something. See what the dogs do. I got you, Tish, too, haven't I? And I also got I've got the MPR 308 with me. I've got the Trigicon scope on there. The Magnatech rings. Get off the box, Tish. Look out. And I got myself, I'm bringing the Knockpix thermal scope as well. So when it gets dark, I can just put the Magnatech rings straight on. Got a profile saved in the rifle. I got a cat the other night. I had this on a 2D3. We didn't start howling dogs. I thought I'd try the 308, so I whacked it on there. The cat came up and dropped the cat where he was. Just didn't even have to go inside and swap the scope over. Those Magnatech rings are a game changer. Hey Tish. Yeah, beautiful dog. Getting an old dog now, aren't you? Let's go and see if we can find ourselves a dingo. Okay, so we're coming up here to the western boundary. It's just up here where I shot the cat the other night. But I heard the dogs howling up here the other night too. There was at least 2, possibly 3 howling. And I think they're using this western boundary here on the scrub line. Probably a bit of a highway heading straight up to the mountain up there. So the plan is to see if we can find some spots along here and pull a few up if they're coming through. Hopefully Tish can find me something. Righto, so Tish just come and marked on this bush here. It wasn't a real definite mark, but he's peed there, so if a dog's coming past, he might pull up. So rather than setting it right in there, I might set the trap just on the edge here, because if they get a bit hawky and walking around here, they're probably likely to step in this nice bare bit of ground here. and I'm not disturbing a whole heap of stuff there. The worst thing about setting traps here is black soil. There's a lot of clods and not real good for setting traps, but anyway, we'll do what we can do and try and pull something up. He's marking over there too, so might even set two here if we get one there, and might even get a second one here. Being on that side of the bush too. Alright, just using these pegs here. It's easy with two hands. Right, it's a lot easier than hammering stakes in, a lot quieter, and hopefully it holds them. Okay, we got the trap in just there and tied off to the cable under the drag on the edge of the track here. So the wind's sort of coming in from a sort of southeast. So as they walk along the track here, they should smell something. And I got this one here, sort of a bit of a blind set off that thing screwed into the ground there. So anyway, we'll see if those pegs hold. I certainly hope so. So we'll give them a shot. Righto, Tish. See if you can find me another spot. Okay, so Tish has just come along here and marked on the side of this tree here, and he was fairly interested. So what I might do is put a drag. I don't really want to put a big cable around the tree because it'll be visible this side. So I might put a drag over the back of that bush there, run the cable through, and maybe put a trap just in here. Because that's sort of where he sort of walked around there, so might put the trap in about here as they walk around the tree. Haven't gone far. Oh, he's just marked over there too. A little bit interested in that spot. Oh, might be a good spot along here. I'd say this is where they were the other night when they were howling. Right, might lace the area up with a few traps and see what happens. Yeah, so he likes this spot here. Reckon that's the spot, Tish? You like that area? You've used all your pee up, haven't you? Right, so now I'm going to go and look for a suitable drag for putting behind that tree. I don't want something that's ridiculously big, but I don't want it to be too light that they can take it for miles, because if the dog goes that way, there's a long way he can go before he can get caught. I don't fancy trying to find them again, but maybe something like that. No, it's not really what I'm after. Maybe even something like that. You put the thing on there. You could probably still pull it a little way. But I'm hoping that if you catch him at that tree, he might drag it and come this way into the scrub. But you never know what they're going to do once they get a bit of bling on their foot. But I reckon that might be right. Like, even if I don't really want to tie the cable under there, just on the off chance that it does manage to slip. And if he drags it, it's probably going to spin round and drag that way. So I'd rather find one that's a bit more likely to drag across and catch on something as it goes. But you don't want to find one that's going to actually just break. If he does pull it up against a tree that's sort of old and a bit of rotten timber. The trouble is I've got too many to choose from here. And you want to try and find the ideal one. So it doesn't matter if they're a bit light and they drag them away if they come into the timber, but on the open country like that, after last time, that bitch took it 500 metres. That one might even be suitable. Got a fairly strong log. You look pretty comfy, don't you, Tish? You like perching up on a box. Righto, now as far as choosing the cable goes, tying off onto a drag, I generally prefer a little bit longer cable so they can get hooked up on things. That one there's probably about a 2 metre cable. See, I've spliced an eye on there as well as put a swage on the tail. These are some of the first ones I made up. They still work perfectly fine. The crimper ones I make now are a bit neater than that. I wouldn't sell them looking like that, but I like to have them looking nice when you sell them too. They look nice and neat and tidy, the new ones, but these work just the same. So yeah, pick a little bit longer one if you're tying on a drag, or it just enables the dog to have a little bit more cable to wrap around and catch on things, and then they can tie themselves up, wrap them around a tree or something. But I'm thinking if I thread it through that bush there, he's going to have a job actually getting the drag through that thick bush and bit of holly bush there beside the little bottle tree here. So tie the cable off and wrap him around this log. I'm thinking I might go around there, I think, just to give it a bit of room. It can't slip off there because of that little knot there, and it can't slip off that way because of that root. But they generally don't slip when you got them like that. If the dog's pulling it, it pulls tight and just grips the log anyway. But I don't like to take chances. You take chances and then you end up losing a trap and losing a dog, and then it's not real nice for either of them. Righto, we'll get this in the ground and keep going. Okay, so I've got this one set in here. Trap set. I'll just shift that leaf off the trap. Trap set right there. So if they come through, the cable's coming through that bush, tied off around that log there, coming through underneath the bush. I get people ask me, it's a shiny cable, does the dog see it? How do you camouflage it? Well, see, what I've done in here, you can see there's the cable come through there. I'll just put a few sticks over the double stake ring that's attached to the trap there and the chain. And coming in here, you don't even really notice that it's there. That cable really camouflages in well with the sort of the grey sticks and whatever else, so it's fairly well hidden. And to come in here and look and see that it doesn't really look that like much like a cable. Doesn't really look like there's much of a trap there or anything. Sort of try and camouflage him as best you can. So if a dog's coming in, hopefully he's got his nose up there. Tish dropped a bit of poo there, so I've got it on a stick and just wiped it on the side of the tree there where he's trying to pee. I think the other dogs have been marking on the side of it, so it should be a good spot along here. Anyway, starting to get dark. I've got to go and get some weaners off the hay. So that's 3 traps in. We might call it quits for today and maybe get a few more in tomorrow. Okay, it's starting to get a little bit dark now to be using a glass scope in case I come across something. So just going to swap the scopes over. These are the Magnatech rings. Just show you how. Oh look, man, I love these rings. Just like that, and the scope's changed over. Put that one in the box and take the rifle. It's ready to go. Set up for the night. Just in case I come across a dog, I'm just heading over the other end of the property now to go and get my cameras. I've had them set up over there for a couple of months now, and you never know what you're going to come across this time of the afternoon over here, so see what happens. Okay, just coming along up the top mountain here where I normally set traps and let Tish off here. There was some fresh dog tracks, fairly fresh dog tracks along the track, so I set another trap in here. Tish marked on the grass there, so I just sort of put out one to see if we can pull something up. And it's well after dark. I shouldn't really be setting traps this late, but I'll do and get a few in anyway. But I'll find any more, I might head home and go. I've got a camera set up. I might even set a camera up here, maybe a GardePro one or something, and just to see if anything actually does go past and see what happens. Okay, so I've got the GardePro camera set up here, overlooking the place where I got the trap set, so I should be able to see if anything gets caught. So anyway, we'll get out of here before we leave too much sand in the area and keep moving on. I just turned the ute on. I could see eyes up here in the track, and there's a dog just up ahead, so I might, don't know whether I'll get a look at him or not now. Yeah, that dog went off into that thick scrub there, so I thought rather than mucking around spooking him off, I just drove off as if I never saw him, and with any luck he might go back up there. I doubt he'll go and get in the trap now. It's just so freshly after I've set it, but it would be pretty cool if he did. So thankfully I've got the camera set up there now, and I'll be able to tell if he comes back. So I should have actually looked around there with the thermal before I did that. He would have been probably only 130 metres up the track from where I had the ute parked and setting the trap. So I could have got him with the 308, but anyway, we'll wait and see what happens, and hopefully he doesn't just go up the other side of the scrub and clear out and not come back. But I didn't spook him. Well, I tried not to spook him, so we'll wait and see what happens. Yeah, I could call, give a howl, but he might come back this way, and I want him to go the other way because he was between where we are and where the trap is, so I want him to keep going that way if possible. I doubt, because I've been walking around in that area, he's probably going to, all that fresh scent there, maybe tissues might be enough to mask it, but just don't know. Probably better off just leaving him be and hope he goes into the scrub, watch this go past and Decides to come back out again. Righto, there he is. He's come back out into the track, north of the track. I might give a howl. That stopped him. What he's doing, is he coming back? I think it might have turned him around. Yeah, I think he's coming back. G'day! Well, that was certainly lucky. And amazingly enough, he sat there long enough. What a stupid dog, but anyway, that worked. Well, it saves trapping him. Now, I reckon there must have been another one yet. Not exactly sure what happened, but I think I must have had the rifle in the tripod too far back, and the pump was hitting the front of the thing, the tripod, so it wasn't allowing the round to go home. Something, I'm not exactly sure what happened. Anyway, he's dead. I think there might have been another one even, you know, because there's no way he could have got up here that quickly. I grabbed the tripod, he was coming down there, unless he took off really quick. I grabbed the tripod and here he was there already. So I reckon he had a mate. Well, needless to say, I love these Magnatech mounts. That scope was on my 2D3 earlier in my cupboard. I took out the Wedgetail Industries MPR 308, put that scope on, changed it to the profile I've zeroed for this rifle, and went out. Well, actually, no, I didn't. I put it in the box, and I put the glass scope on, then come out here, it got dark, I changed that scope over, as you saw, and here's the result. This dog come up, you saw it all happen. There's the yeet just there. I was about probably 10 metres this side of the yeet, so probably about, say 60 metre shot, and I almost lost him, I reckon, but because there's not much room at the front there to sit the tripod in the saddle, or the saddle on the tripod, clamp it on there, and I think I had it clamped on too far back, and it was stopping it from going into battery. So it, when I went to pull the trigger, it just went click and didn't actually hit the firing pin. So that is something to be aware of when you're using these pump actions in the tripod. But anyway, I was able to finally get it sorted, and he just sat there and looked amazingly enough. So I shot him and he's gone. Come back over here. Well, that just got even better. It's actually a bitch. So I'll put it on black and white mode. That's really good to get her. Bring her up here a bit. Yeah, she's not a real old bitch, but I don't think she's had her litter of pups before, but nothing to say that she won't be going to have one. Wouldn't have had one. So she's a fully mature dog. I'd say it would have been a big male that's up ahead, and she just happened to come out to scrub. So I don't know whether he's gone. I'm pretty sure this isn't the one you saw turn. She's come out of the scrub closer up there. Unless he ran flat out, he couldn't have got here that quick. And she was just trotting up. So I did lose her for a bit when she come along here. I was just hoping that the wind didn't get wrong, because there's a big wall of grass here, and the wind was sort of blowing nearly in my back, straight, or not quite this way, thankfully. So she just come around the corner, and I yelled at her and stopped her there. Otherwise she probably would have kept going. But yeah, fantastic result. One less to try and trap, and it's really good to get her out of the breeding system, because she'll be probably mating soon and be getting in pup. So yeah, big male to get, probably her mate, I'd say, but she could be one of the ones I've heard howling down the other side. Not exactly sure, but that's, her days are up. So yeah, so out with this is a little Knockpix Lamy. This is a fantastic little binocular. They have got one out now that has got the rangefinder in it, so that'd be even more beneficial than this one. But this one here is just the standard, just the H35. So yeah, fantastic little binocular, really nice and compact, and yeah, really good to use in your hand. One thing I don't particularly like about it is the buttons are a little bit stiff to use, but if that's the only downside, I wouldn't say that's a bad issue. Really great little unit to use. Anyway, good. I was using the Knockpix Ace H50R on there as well, using the Magnatech mounts. So thanks again, Huntsman Optics. If you want to go and purchase any of these mounts or the scope or the binocular, head over to Bristle Up, and I'll leave the link in the description below. Fantastic gear, and I can't recommend it highly enough. Return to Zero, and also these Smart Rest tripods. It's a really good little tripod as well, quite light, easy to work, and I actually do like having this one with the centre piece on there. Yes, it's probably not quite as stable, but when you're in terrain where you've got to try and adjust the height rather than adjusting the lengths of the legs, you just need to adjust that, and it just gives you a little bit higher or a little bit lower. So anyway, we'll go and get this dog on the back of the ute and go and set up another camera yet. Okay, so I've just set a trap in here, and I've staked it down with the new screws, those 300mm screws, landscaping pegs, screw things, and I put a bit of a blood up in there. This is where she stopped after I shot her, so she dropped a bit of poo there, and so if the mate comes back, if he's not already in the trap up ahead, there's plenty of scent here, so it should stop him, but as long as the cattle don't come up here, otherwise if they come up here and smell it, they're just going to wreck the whole area. So anyway, here she is on the back. Tish is getting excited because he can smell her, but you're tied up, so you can't get to her, hey? Good boy, Tish. Alright, we'll go up ahead and just check the trap, see whether he did actually go and get in it, because he was going down there nearly past it when I last saw him. Righto, so checking out the traps here. I don't think he came past here, probably because the scent was too fresh. You would have smelt that we were here and probably diverted around the gully. So you'd see what he was doing, like in the footage on the scope. I reckon he's gone probably back into the scrub, and he was still in the scrub when I shot the other one. So any chance he may come along here again, I don't know, but I might just drag her along there and put a bit of a blood along this track here just to be sure, and see if he'll follow a scent. Righto, so I set the camera up back where I set those first 3 traps, and see what happens tonight. That's a Hick micro camera. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Nothing went past that other one, and got 3 traps set down here on the western side and 2 up on the northern side. So see what happens tonight, and go and check him in the morning. So just going to go rip the scarp off this bitch and then hang her up in the tree. I've got the last 4 that I've shot the other day, or in the last week or so, hanging up in the tree there, and a couple of cats, about 3 cats in there I think. So yeah, add her to the pile, or add her to the tree. Number 5 in just over a week. Yeah, getting the numbers down. Hopefully the traps start working, and I might keep howling at them, and we'll get them eventually. Well, she wouldn't have gone far. That'll be the first shot I had at her. This is the projectile I just found. I just cut her open and went to go and cut her, see if she had any pee left in her bladder to put in a trapping box. And here's the projectile that was up in her gut. So it'd gone right up through her chest, right through all her main organs, and ended up in her gut. So 130 grain hollow point out of the 308. Man, they will do some damage when they go in. But yeah, she wouldn't have gone anywhere.